Ready for action.
Of Senator Cruz's Hampshire presidential campaign. I wonder if, as we start off, if you would join me in a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I also want to introduce Senator Bob Smith. He's a co-chair with me. You know, folks, about a year or so ago, I was out at a conference in Iowa. It was sponsored by Citizens United and Congressman Steve King out there. We were drawing together a lot of conservatives to talk about where we want the party to go. And there were a lot of presidential candidates there. None had announced at that point, but I had an opportunity to meet a lot of them. And our party, the Republican Party, has a right to be very proud this election cycle because we have a great bunch of candidates. And one of the things I did is I went around and talked to all of them and didn't know Senator Cruz that well, but I came across a man who has a clear vision of what is required to bring back America from the precipice where we are. A man who clearly understands the Constitution and how turning to the Constitution is the way to achieve again the domestic vibrancy that we had in the past and the American exceptionalism that was a beacon for the world. I came across a man who has an ambitious love for America, who knows that America is the necessary country. We've had 7 years now of a president who doesn't understand this country, who wanted to bring down this country. And as you know, and we all know, we have to step back from that. We have a country now that has almost $19 trillion in governmental debt. We are doing something. A few years back when I became Speaker of the House, one of the reasons I did is I went to folks and said, we've done something in New Hampshire that was never done before. We borrowed money to pay for our government today, our operating expenses in government today. I said, you know, that's immoral. We've never done that before in New Hampshire. And when we talked to people about that, they ended up giving the Republican Party 3/4 of the legislation was stepped back and reduced $1 billion debt without any taxes. I know what it is to keep promises, and that was another thing that was very important to me as I talked to these individuals. Are you not just a person who says they're conservative, but a proven conservative? And Ted Cruz, I think as we know, is the proven conservative. He has gone to Congress not saying that he will not vote for an increase in the debt ceiling, but actually not doing that. And we know even in our own state, we've had representatives that we've sent to Congress who have not kept their promises. And it's just not on the Democrat side, it's on the Republican side. So it's very important to me, and that's why I'm endorsing Ted Cruz for president. You know, the importance of this campaign to me is that I know at some point, years from now, I'm going to sit with my grandchildren, and they're going to ask me, what did you do in 2016? What did you do when our country had a debt bigger than the economy, and we had a choice to continue down that road or to reverse it? What did you do when we had resurgent countries that were cutting back in freedom in the world? Did you support a candidate that was going to increase the safety of our country, increase the size of our military, or did you do nothing and sit back? I want to be able to sit with them and say, I did all I could. I supported Ted Cruz. I'm asking you to support Ted Cruz as well. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, Nicole. Is this a great state or what? You bring the candidates for president in and you sit a few feet from them and you'll remember that to be able to tell your grandchildren. I was sitting right there when the President of the United States spoke to our group, and it could happen. And First of all, on behalf of the senator, I just want you all to know the reason why we had to jack the time around a little bit. Some of you know and some of you don't. Mitch McConnell, the majority leader of the Senate, was kind enough to make Senator Cruz break his whole bus trip up and fly back in order to vote on legislation this morning on the Syrian refugees. Obviously, a vote that he cannot and should not miss. So that's why we had to change the time on you, and I know you understand. No matter what you do, you get criticized. You get criticized if you miss a vote, and if you leave and break up your tour, then you get criticized for that. So we had to cancel a couple items on the bus tour for today. But, you know, 4 days, 5 days, a bus tour, 20-some towns all over the state. And the senator said, I want to meet real people. So we went to Washington, New Hampshire. How about that? A little bit different than Washington, D.C., right? But 250 people in a town hall in Washington, New Hampshire. It's amazing. So it's been a great tour. And I just want to say, look, I basically came out of retirement to help Senator Cruz. I was not planning to do that, but I know our country's in trouble, and you know it. But you don't need it, and I'm not killing time here. The senator is here. We're going to show you a 3-minute video, and then we'll introduce you, so I'm not just holding you up here. But let me just say, you know, I looked him in the eye, and I said, Senator, do you mean it? Are you prepared to take what you're going to have to take in order to turn this country around? You know, this isn't a game show. It isn't a reality TV show. You know, this is the presidency of the United States. Think about it when you vote. Please. We have a country at stake here. This man is a solid conservative. He's brilliant. He's argued 9 cases before the Supreme Court and won them on issues that we all care about, gun control, religious freedoms, and on and on and on. A great man. But he looked me in the eye and said, I mean it. Senator, I mean it. If I get elected, I will take on my own party. I will take on the other party. I'll take on the media. I'll take on whoever it takes in order to get this done. So I just want to say before I introduce the film, it's one of the highest honors and privileges for me. You all know me. I've represented this state for a lot of years, and I've seen a lot of candidates come through here on both sides. But this man means what he says. He'll look you right in the eye and he'll answer. He will not dodge any questions. So you got a great treat coming if you haven't met him. Let me just, at this point, introduce the movie. And it's 3 minutes, and you'll learn a little bit about him, and then the real man will be right here.
No exploratory committee, no mulling the pros and cons. Senator Ted Cruz of Texas will announce tomorrow he is all in.
Today, I am announcing that I'm running for President of the United States.
conservative candidate running, the most consistently conservative candidate running.
I think Ted Cruz is a rock star. Cruz is like the conscience of a conservative in a Senate that is gutless, timid, and cowardly.
If you're looking for a Republican candidate who is the most opposed to liberalism, it's Ted Cruz.
How about talking about the substantive issues?
Well, if that gave you goosebumps, wait till you see the man himself. It's an honor and a privilege, one of the greatest honors and privileges I've ever had, to introduce to you, my fellow citizens in New Hampshire, and a man that I endorse, trust, and have the greatest confidence in, the next President of the United States, Senator Ted Cruz.
Crop TV.